Hi, my name is Kelvin Newman, and welcome to the Brighton SEO podcast, where we share talks from one of the world's most popular search and marketing conferences. The event started out as a few people meeting in an upstairs room of a pub and is now attended by over 3,000 people from all over the world. This episode is a recording of one of the speakers at a recent event.
And next up, we have Nicole Bullock, who's going to talk to you about managing multiple locations within Google My Business.
So today we're going to talk about Google My Business, and it's going to be broken up into three elements. One of them is just going to be talking about just some basics of Google My Business and local search, because those really are the framework for having multiple locations come together and work for you. And then we'll talk about some of the specifics of if you are managing more than one location, what you can do for the best optimization. And then also talk about some tips and features that are the more recent parts of Google My Business, and give you some ideas of ways that you can make your businesses and clients more successful. So first off, some local search basics. The signals from Google My Business accounts are the #1 ranking factor according to Moz's 2017 ranking factors. So 19% of what you rank for is how you show up in Google My Business, specifically in that knowledge panel. So with such a large portion of your visibility being in this, we want to make sure that you appear the best that you can. I'm sure you've heard this over and over, but it can't be stressed more. Name, address, phone number. The consistency between your listings is absolutely vital, particularly with sites like Yelp, Facebook, Bing. Even small changes like a W instead of West, or Drive or Boulevard, just those little bits and pieces are enough that can cause confusion and reduce the authority of your ranking. Also, always use a local number. Toll-free numbers, tracking numbers, while they do give you interesting insights into how the site is performing, and a lot of times they'll go into an aggregator when you're looking at multiple businesses, there is so much more value in having a well-optimized Google My Business profile that gives you that visibility than any kind of analytics that you can get from a tracking number. And again, use that local number consistent with all of your other listings. So categories are an interesting portion of Google My Business. I've been working on Google My Business ever since it was really a factor. I think it's been about 5 years. So there have been different ways and portions of the site that are visible. Categories in the past, some would optimize by putting a category in each place. So if you could have 5 categories, you'd put 5 listings. But with the Possum update, the dilution of your categories is a lot more possible. So if you can define your business using only one category, that is the best course of action. And don't use it necessarily to describe attributes of your business. There's a portion of Google My Business will let you talk about the things that make your locations special and unique. So those attributes would be for anything that is your location plus something. So a cafe with Wi-Fi, for a restaurant with outdoor seating, a hotel with pool, and it can be for drive-through locations. And those locations and attributes can be added into your dashboard. And these are especially important for all of the voice searches that are happening. I have a car that has Apple CarPlay, and so a lot of my searches that I do are while I'm driving, and they tend to be longer tail queries. And when you've optimized for your attributes, you're more likely, businesses are more likely to show up for those longer tail searches. Then resolving duplicate listings is also key. You don't want to potentially dilute the authority of your location. You don't want to confuse the different local search aggregators. So resolving duplicate listings will give your ranking strength. And the best resource that I've seen for figuring out how to resolve your duplicate listings is this Moz blog post that's delete GMB listing. This will give you information on every type of iteration, whether your business is closed, whether it's been purchased by another company. Like it gives about 20 different scenarios, who you contact, how to deal with the dashboards. And so this is a really great resource. So regardless of how many listings and businesses that you are managing in Google My Business, the integrity of each individual listing is key. So we're going to talk now about managing the multiple locations. So the best tip that I've had so far is using one account for all listings. I've worked for several different agencies, and a lot of times if someone from one of the businesses leave and they had access to the manager or owner of Google My Business and they leave, you have to go through the verification process. It can be very difficult. So centralizing your dashboard is what I've found to be the best tip for proper management. And also, if you've had accounts that have been previously verified, those can be, the credentials can be transferred so that you have the owner access in one account and then have the managers for each individual location. So you can set the main account as owner and then delegate manager access. So there is some difference of opinion in this. There are some that manage local businesses and say you want to have each location be under one email address, because if there's some type of penalty or a business closes, you don't want to lose all of your locations. In my experience, it will save you time, and it's easier to view analytics and take care of your manage permissions if you have one centralized place. And then also responding to reviews. It's helpful to have many people, especially on site at those locations, be able to respond to those reviews. But especially if you are providing analytics for like an enterprise with multiple locations, it's really helpful for management to have them in that one place. So we're going to talk about individual and bulk verification. If you haven't already had your locations verified, individual verification is going to happen for any locations with 10 or less locations. If you're not familiar, a service area business is a location or a business that travels to different locations and provides a service, but they don't have a brick and mortar place that you can come to and receive goods and services. So if you are a service area business, you want to make sure that you verify individually, because if you try to do a bulk verification and you do not have a place that you can receive a postcard or someone can show up to your location, you can be penalized for your business. So if you have more than 10 locations, bulk verification is the way to go. In the Google My Business dashboard, there is a form to upload and fill out the fields of your contact name and email, and the email must be of the domain of the business for you to verify it. And also, if there's a Google AdWords account manager, that can be verified as well. One interesting case study that I looked at recently was for businesses that don't necessarily have someone on site. I was looking at, it was for short-term car rentals that would be at a location where you rent them on an app, you go into the location, you're able to get the car, but there's not someone on site. And so they were able to take care of all of the verification for all of these essentially parking lots or parking garages through this bulk verification because they had the locations and they had one manager for them. And this is also one of the basics, but it's especially important for multiple locations. Your listing must match the actual business listing. If you have 10 or 15 different locations in a different city, if your business name is Company and Brighton, if that's your business name, that works. But if you just go by the title of the company, don't add any additional words or cities into your listing. That's again part of the consistent NAP. You want the name to be the same every place that it is located. The Google My Business API is also helpful. It gives you more real-time knowledge about your businesses and listings. And then it decreases the likelihood that there's going to be any problems with data aggregators. So obviously, when you have your listing, there are the places that will scrub the information and go through. And if the information's the same everywhere, it's not going to pull an incorrect address or name somewhere. Then for some additional tips and features. One of the things that I just read about that I'm really interested in is the local Q&A on mobile. You can answer frequently asked questions, and those show up in the listing. And they're just in line with the knowledge graph result. And that is, again, only on mobile for Android and iOS. If you have one website, one root domain, and you have multiple locations, I suggest having a page for each location where you can put an embedded Google map that you can get the code from Google My Business. Because again, you don't want to have all of your links go to a home page. That's a link building 101 thing. So if you have a page for each location, embed that map, and it's an additional signal to have people come to the individual location. Driving directions and transit directions can also be very helpful. If you have location-specific pages and you have many, many pages for the same business or same entity, it can be difficult to come up with content that's really specific for each location. And I've found that using driving directions or talking about which buses and trains to take to get there, it just gives you that extra bit of content, and it's also a really strong ranking factor. And it gives your users additional value. And then a few months ago, Google Posts came live in Google My Business. And this is kind of an in-between for what was available in Google+. So when you had those pages, you'd have a feed of posts that you had posted about a business, but it wasn't helpful, especially when searching on mobile. So with the posts, it will show up in both the text search and in Maps results, and that it can be updated on iOS, Android, or desktop. However, the posts expire in 7 days, so this is better for some short-term information, but it gives you that extra punch of information. The Google Posts also offer a call to action section, so this can increase your engagement with your users by having the opportunity to reserve or sign up or buy on those calls to action. If you are having problems with anything with Google My Business, I have spent a lot of time trying to verify locations that a past person has left a business, and I really have had the best luck with the Twitter customer service support. You can go through the dashboard and follow the links and do the call with the support staff, but I found that they have more senior reps that are on the Twitter account, and I find that the time that it takes to get them resolved is much faster. So you can also do through Facebook, but again, my tip is going through Twitter. And then that is what I have to say. Thank you.
This was originally recorded at a Brighton SEO conference. If you want to listen to more episodes or find out about the conference itself, you can do at brightonseo.com.